and Nick.
Welcome to That Superhero Thing podcast, where we discuss the latest superhero and comic book movies and TV shows. I'm your host Nick, and joining me, as always, star of stage and podcast, Anthony.
Hello.
I had to get it in there.
God.
Listeners, Anthony has just come off performing in Shrek the Musical. 2 parts, Anthony. You were Papa Shrek.
I was more than 2 parts. I was Papa Shrek. I was one of the 3 pigs.
Yeah.
And then I was actually also one of the Duloc dancers.
I didn't know you were one of the Duloc dancers.
I had to learn a full routine, and I've normally got 2 left feet, but I actually nailed it, to be fair.
Amazing.
So.
Well, I'm struggling this week because Anthony has tried to get the face paint off, but he's still a bit green.
Still green.
And he's in work tomorrow, so it's going to be entertaining. Anyway, so we'll move on. We'll move swiftly on because Anthony looks like he's going to hit me. On this week's show, we'll be breaking down all the latest comic book movie news, including some Guardians of the Galaxy casting news, a release date for Masters of the Universe Revelation Part 2, and as we said last week, we've got tons of reveals from Saturday's DC Fandome event. We're then going to be giving our full breakdown and review of Venom, Let There Be Carnage. That's going to be an interesting one, before discussing your thoughts and theories in this week's Podfans Assemble. This is also your spoiler warning. There will be spoilers and speculation throughout the episode. If you want to skip ahead to the DC Fandome coverage, the Venom 2 review, or to Podfans Assemble, then we'll put timestamps in the description, like we always do, because we care about your listening needs. Don't know where that was going. Anyway, news, moving swiftly on. Guardians of the Galaxy casting announcement. So, pretty big casting announcement this week. So, there's been rumours flying around at the start of the week, and last weekend I think it was, that Will Poulter was in talks to play Adam Warlock.
Yeah,
I didn't believe it. I was like, that'd be cool,
that's
but
him from
no.
Meet the...
We're the Millers.
Yeah, We're the Millers, that's it.
Yeah, I think he was in one of the Narnia films.
Oh, I don't know, but wasn't he in Maze Runner?
Yeah, he was,
Yeah.
He used to be in a comedy sketch show for the kids did on Channel 4, on E4, years ago. Yeah, that's where I first saw him. But yeah, rumours were all over the place. And then James Gunn took to Twitter and he said, as you guys know, I often strike down false rumours. So welcome to the Guardians family, Will Poulter. He's an amazing actor, wonderful guy. See you in a couple of weeks. # Adam Warlock.
Don't you think... And this is exciting news, but I just want to say this. Don't you think he looks like a live-action version of the horrible kid from Toy Story 1?
He does a little bit, Sid.
Yeah,
I didn't even think of that. I didn't even think about it, but now it's there.
Yeah.
And I'm never going to be able to get that out.
I know, yeah.
That's stuck forever.
But I'm actually quite excited to see him as Adam.
I'm excited for... I mean, I am as well. I really like Will Poulter. I think he's a really good actor. He was originally cast as Pennywise years ago.
Oh, was he?
Yeah, when they first started making the new It.
Yeah.
He was cast as Pennywise, and I think he had difference of opinion with the director, so he ended up moving on. But I think he's great.
Though? I couldn't imagine anyone other than Bill. It was Bill Skarsgård.
Yes, it was one of the Skarsgårds.
The Wright brother. Yeah.
The Wright brother.
I'm just checking I got the right brother.
Maybe. I know just Skarsgård, yeah. I think it is. Yeah, it's Bill Skarsgård, yeah. I mean, he was really good. And we've gone off on a tangent straight away because we're talking about it. It's my fault. But I really like Will Poulter. I think he's not your standard, and this isn't a dig, he's not your standard Hollywood A-list actor, but not in a bad way. He's got a proper character to him.
Yeah.
And every part he does, he really stands out.
He's like
in a good
bit
way.
Of an outsider, but I think he's like underestimated.
Yeah,
quite a lot.
I do. I'm really happy that we're getting Adam Warlock. I think we kind of expected to be anyway.
After waiting so long from Guardians 2, wasn't it? With the introduction of it.
Yeah.
But then we just hadn't heard anything since, and it was kind of like, is it ever going to happen?
Yeah.
I didn't think it was going to happen for Guardians 3, you know.
No,
I don't know why. I thought it was going to come in somewhere else as maybe like a smaller scale.
Yeah.
Baddie.
I wondered whether we'd maybe get a really little teaser for it in the Guardians of the Galaxy Christmas special thing. Yeah. And then maybe get an after credits where we see him.
Maybe, yeah.
I mean, that might be it. We might literally just see Will Poulter in the after credits.
Yeah.
But I said I'm dead excited that we're getting Adam Warlock, but I think a lot of people are going to be surprised at how good Will Poulter is. Because I don't think it's like universally everyone's like, yay, Will Poulter. I think
there's still going to be quite a lot of people that'll be like, who?
Yeah, probably.
Potentially, because he's just, again, I just don't think he's necessarily widely known as well as the other actors that have come into...
No, I don't. I don't, but I think it's good. I am absolutely made up. I'm excited. Bit more casting news then. This one's a bit more of a rumour maybe. Ant-Man and the Wasp, Quantumania, I can say it. So the Cosmic Circus this week have said that there's been a posting on a casting website, mandy.com, and it lists an actor called John Townsend as being a photo double for Bill Murray in a project called Dust Bunny, and that is the working title for Ant-Man 3.
Oh, really?
So the rumour is we're getting Bill Murray in Ant-Man 3. I don't know who he will play. I don't care who he plays. I kind of hope he plays Bill Murray. after Zombieland, I could quite happily watch that. What do you think, Bill Murray in the MCU?
I'd love it. I'm not going to lie.
Who do you think he would play? Do you want him as an MCU character, like a Marvel character? Obviously, he's going to be an MCU character. But do you want him as like a Marvel superhero, or do you want him as something a bit more random, like Scott Lang's dad or something?
Yeah, maybe Scott's dad.
But I kind of want to see him
because that would make sense when you look at Paul Rudd and you look at Bill Murray and the characters that they can both do.
Yeah,
his dad, like playing his dad,
suit
would be
really
perfect.
well, wouldn't it?
Yeah.
Or I'm also thinking maybe a flashback to when Michael Douglas was Ant-Man and him being like a really weird out there superhero. Do you know what I mean? Or a supervillain. Yes,
like a really shit one.
Yeah. Do a flashback to Michael Douglas,
like
Hank
the
Pym.
Cockroach or something.
Yeah, something like that. Yeah, and have Hank Pym fighting him as a flashback to like the 70s. Him and Janet fighting him. That'd be amazing.
Love it.
It's just got to be. I don't know whether I want him like full on mainstream becoming a proper Marvel character going forward. I think it's good enough because I don't think he'd stick with it.
Like a Jeff Goldblum type of thing where he can pop in and out at any time.
Yeah,
but like just. It's a bit of fun in it.
Bill Murray's brilliant. He's an absolute legend.
I mean, did you ever watch Get Smart?
Yeah, was he in that?
Yeah, he was the man in the tree.
He was the man in the tree.
that let you in.
Yes. That's it.
And it was he was depressed.
Something like that. I just think, I don't think he'd stick around. And I think the thing you need with Marvel movies is you need somebody who's going to come back for years and years and years. Yeah. And I think like, if you put Bill Murray in it, you might then go, oh great, we've got a really big part for you in the next thing or in the next Marvel movie, and he'd go, not in the mood, don't want to do it. Yeah. And that's not that. I mean, he's an absolute legend of an actor, and he can sort of pick and choose what he wants to do. But I don't think he'd be like, oh well, I'll do it because I've got to do it. I think if he wasn't interested, he just wouldn't do it. So I think just a little bit of a cameo would be good. Before we move on to some non-Marvel news, then we have got Into the Spider-Verse. Yeah. We've got a title.
Do you know what? I saw the story to say that it was a title, but is it really the title? Because people aren't a bit sure on it. But I didn't actually read what the title is.
Apparently, it's now been confirmed. So it is Across the Spider-Verse instead of Into the Spider-Verse. So Spider-Man Across the Spider-Verse it is.
Oh.
So not really that different. I would get the impression from that title, if it's going to be Across the Spider-Verse, my first thought is he's going to be, rather than it just being in Miles's version of the timeline and other Spider-Man coming in, it's going to see him jumping around to different Spider-Verses. Yeah, it's got to be it, hasn't it? That's the next step, isn't it? The next logical step. Hopefully, maybe just 2 seconds in a live action.
That'd be cool.
Timeline, that'd be cracking. Just because it's coming out afterwards, isn't it? It's not out until 2022, so you could literally have them just sort of like drop into the final battle of No Way Home and then just get out again very quickly. Something like that'd be amazing. Right, before we move on to DC Fandome, then last bit of news, we mentioned it already. Masters of the Universe Revelation Part 2. Yeah. Dead excited for this. So it's coming out sooner than I thought it would be. November 23rd.
Oh.
I thought it'd be like next year.
I thought it'd be next year.
I think it's 20 or 21 anyway. I don't think they've released the date if it's 2022. I'm going to stick with it. I'm going 2021, November 23rd. So it's only a couple of weeks away. It's a bit weird that it's a Tuesday. I thought at first
that's like a Tuesday or a Wednesday.
But it's the day before Hawkeye comes out. So I would guess they probably just thought, let's get it out before then, because if you drop it on the Wednesday, Thursday or Friday that week, it's going to get completely swamped by Disney. 2 episodes of Hawkeye coming out on the 24th as well.
We're getting 2
on launch day, so no one's going to watch it if they don't drop it before Hawkeye comes out. No trailers or anything like that been released. A poster's been released to announce it. We see that big massive grok of a Skeletor with his sword, but it also looks like He-Man's on it as well, but like with really long blonde hair. You can only see him from the back. But we've killed him twice. I don't want him to come. You watched it, didn't you? In Revelation. They killed him twice in that. Yeah. I don't want to see him come back again. You've killed him twice. Leave him now. I know people weren't happy.
What if it's She-Man? I mean, not
She-Man.
She-Ra in it?
It's not. No. If it's She-Ra, she's big. She's hench with an axe.
Okay.
And no top on.
I'm just going to give up now.
Maybe we're going down a really weird route. She-Man. Topless She-Man with an axe. Like, massively. But could happen. Right. DC Fandome then. So, I kind of watched it. You didn't watch it. You were being Shrek's dad with your green face. So, I watched it, but it was 3.5 hours. Now we're going to go through the main bits.
3.5 hours, minute by minute. No, I'm joking.
It was long, and I found that there wasn't loads in it that I cared about. Yeah, massively. Yeah, we're going to go. There were loads of big things in it. Obviously, there was like the Batman trailer. There was a look at Shazam. There was a look at the Suicide Squad game, which we'll talk about. Peacemaker, but I think that they've not necessarily done it in the right way, because a lot of it was like. There was a 20th anniversary Smallville section in there that went on for about 15 minutes, which was good, and we'll talk about it a little bit. But there were lots of things that, because the whole DC universe isn't interlinked, there were a lot of things in there that I didn't care about. And I would guess that there's a lot of things that most people wouldn't care about in there. And it sort of lost momentum. Yeah. And from 2 minutes in, it was like, coming up, this, and the Batman trailer. And then half an hour later, coming up, this, and the Batman trailer. And we didn't get the Batman trailer till 9:30, and it started at 6.
Bloody hell.
So they let the Batman trailer was the very, very last thing that they dropped.
So they did it just to keep people
basically, watching. Because it could. Yeah. I mean, I think we all knew it was coming at the very end. But they kept sort of saying it's coming soon to sort of keep you hooked. Yeah. Which again makes me think they probably knew that people were getting fed up and wouldn't want to watch the whole thing. If they put it this way, if they dropped the Batman trailer in the first 15 minutes,
people would have just switched off.
90% of people would have turned it off. Yeah. I would imagine, but I think it just it shows that not the danger, but the issue with the fact that it's not all related. It's not all interlinked.
Well, it's also the fact that if they know that people are going to switch off after seeing the Batman bit, then they're not producing what they need to be producing to keep people hooked.
No, I agree.
And that's part of their problem in general.
But also, just don't make it 3.5 hours.
No.
And so some of the teasers on there, there was one for the Harley Quinn series, which I haven't seen any of. I've heard really good things about it. Yeah. But it was like a 30-second kind of trailer, but it was all in black and white. It was all like sketches and not coloured, because that's how early in production it is. But they made a trailer out of it, which is cool, but why put it in there?
Yeah.
It was 3.5 hours. It was really, really long. I think the other thing with DC as well is they don't release everything on the same place at the same time internationally.
No.
It's like all the CW shows, which they are in the States, they're not all on the same network in the UK. We've got some of them on Sky. We've got some of them on Channel 4. Yeah. And then because of that, they don't all come out at the same time. And because they all interlink in America, because they do all the CW shows that crossover every year. Yeah. But look, Batwoman, for instance, that gets involved in the crossover event now. Yeah. But that doesn't air until the whole season's aired in America. So you miss that episode of the crossover event in the UK. Yeah. And I'm not saying, aren't Marvel and Disney the best, but when Disney release their stuff, it comes out at the same time on the same day internationally, all on the same platform. And it's because of things like the fact that we don't have HBO Max in the UK, and I think that's the issue I had with it, and the fact, as I said, it's not all interlinked. But there were lots of good things. I sent you everything I thought was good, because Anthony, I said, was performing. So the first thing, which I did really like the look of, is Black Adam. We've finally seen some Black Adam. This thing's been being made for about 26 years or something now at this stage.
I know.
It's been going a long time. But we saw some footage. There wasn't a lot to see. It was the arrival of The Rock as Black Adam. Yeah. Costume looks amazing.
Costume does look
impressed
brilliant.
With it. I like it with the hood and everything like that. I think I'm not convinced it's going to look as good without the hood and the cape, but it does look really good. It's weird that they're keeping the hood, though, when they got rid of it on Shazam.
Yeah.
Because in the new Shazam, he's not going to have the hood, is he? No. But they've obviously kept. Maybe it's to distinguish between the two.
Maybe
that's why they're doing it. Looks good, though. Got a very dark tone to it.
Seems that way, doesn't it?
Yeah, because he kind of like disintegrates some dude with lightning and then crushes his skull and drops him on the floor. Yeah. But that's a very different tone to Shazam.
Yeah, totally.
Because Shazam's like very kiddie, and surely these are supposed to be like the same. Obviously, it's the same universe. You'd think it's the same universe. I wouldn't be completely.
But they're also the same collective of
It's the same
powers.
Yeah, it is, isn't
it's
it?
the same origin, in it?
Yeah, I don't think it's necessarily a bad thing if
No,
they don't
no.
go super kiddie. It's just a bit weird how they are taking a very different tone with it.
Yeah.
But then I suppose Marvel have a different themes to all their movies, don't they?
Yeah.
But I am really excited for that. A couple of the bits we got. So we got behind the scenes rather than trailers. We got behind the scenes of Aquaman.
Yeah.
I've still not seen Aquaman 1. I know that's really bad. I've tried to watch it twice and I fell asleep both times.
And then that's funny because in that behind the scenes, they say no. In the behind the scenes, they say that Aquaman was the most successful DC film of them all.
I know. I literally fell asleep twice. I've always tried to watch it like 2 o'clock in the morning or something. That's probably what the reason why.
Yeah.
To be fair though, I thought what they showed us did look quite good.
Yeah.
I like the fact that they've got, when they showed all like the concept art of all the different locations, it looks like it's going to be a big movie.
Yeah.
Like Eternal sort of type, like massive sort of set pieces and stuff like that. So I from looking at that behind the scenes, I am quite keen to see it. So I probably will have to go and watch Aquaman 1. Shazam, I'm dead excited for Shazam.
I'm dead excited. Seeing Helen Mirren
Mirren,
and Lucy Liu. Because I thought, what an odd coupling to put together as well.
Yeah.
But I'm excited to see the dynamic between them.
I am, yeah.
Because I feel like Helen Mirren, like, to put it in the most kind of blunt of terms, is so posh.
Yeah.
And I'm just excited to see how she takes on a villain in a superhero movie.
In this type of movie.
Yeah.
I've got like
it's so actiony, but it feels like that would all be beneath her.
Do
you know what I mean?
I know what you mean.
It's
it
that
looks
kind of
silly.
thing. Yeah.
When I saw her and Lucy Liu in costume, I thought, my first instinct was like, wow, this looks a bit stupid. But I'm not worried about it at all. I've got complete trust in Shazam 2 because of how good number 1 was.
Yeah.
I kind of like how silly it looks because I'm thinking it's going to look boss on screen.
Yeah.
They're going to do a really good job of this.
I'm really excited.
Really excited to see this. So we then got The Flash. It's kind of... So we got Ezra Miller. Bit weird. We got Ezra Miller, which is the most awkward presentation I've ever seen. He kind of was like, Ezra, here's a camera. Go now. Go. No prep. He's like, hi. We've not got any footage for a teaser, and
he looks like he's doing casting
to
for
see
that
you.
70s
I mean,
show.
see me. And then he's got this weird dog collar on and a denim vest.
And the cat, I just don't.
I didn't get it.
He did look like he's supposed to be in that 70s show. That's what he was auditioning for.
Did, yeah. I like the way he sits there and goes, we've not got any footage, so I can't give you a teaser or a trailer. But it's a trailer. It's like a 2-minute trailer. With loads of footage.
I know.
It's like, they really didn't tell him what this is going to be. It's just like, start talking. But he goes like, we've not got any footage. So we've not got a trailer or a teaser, but here's something me and Andy put together. It's like,
that's a trailer.
It's a teaser.
Yeah.
It wasn't like a full trailer, clearly, but it wasn't just like it wasn't a clip, was it?
No.
I thought this is going to be a clip,
a
30-second clip, all pre-viz. It wasn't. It was a full-on teaser, and it was good. It was a really good teaser. Didn't give much away. We got Michael Keaton doing the voiceover for the whole thing, which you didn't pick up on at first, but it was Michael Keaton. We knew he was coming.
It's because he didn't put on the signature Batman voice.
He didn't do the question like this. I'm so glad he's not going down. I really hope they don't do that because he didn't do it in the 89 one.
No,
don't go full on like.
I'm not wearing hockey pads.
Don't do that. God, can you imagine if he did that? So. The things that I found interesting from it, obviously the fact that we had Michael Keaton, we didn't see his suit. I'm kind of glad we didn't see him in suit.
I'm glad we didn't see the suit. But I think it was enough just to see the back of his head.
Yeah, but we know what he looks like anyway.
I know.
And we know what that Batmobile was under the sheet.
Yeah.
So it kind of, I was a bit like, well, why are you not showing it? Because we know what these things are. It's not like Black Adam where they could have kept the suit quiet.
But it was the same with the original trailers for the new Ghostbusters as well.
Yeah.
They only when they lifted the sheet over the car, you only saw
on the very first teaser.
Yeah,
we did, didn't we? Yeah, and we all knew what that was going to be.
We knew, it didn't need to be shown anymore, but that was enough.
You might find that they're trying to not give loads away, just in case things get delayed again, because they're going to need to put more trailers out. So you might find that's the reason why. We saw Sasha Cal as Supergirl. Didn't really see much of her. She was just sort of standing in the background. We saw the 2 Barrys. We knew we were going to get 2 different Barrys. I'm not convinced that all the rumours that said one of them is going to be the big bad are true. Just from that little shot, the fact that they were together, like in the Batcave. I know it was the main Barry with the short hair, who is our Barry from the Justice from the Snyderverse timeline, I assume.
Yeah.
He's got the new suit, which looks boss.
Yeah.
The suit looks amazing. The cowl looks shit.
Yeah.
It looks really bad. It looks like a Lego Flash cowl. It doesn't look good at all. If you didn't notice it,
Maybe Lego made it was like,
it doesn't look good.
Put this on
they need
for
to,
us.
They need the suit looks amazing.
Yeah.
The cowl looks crap. They need to change that. Seriously, go back and change it. And then the other Barry in the background had the spray painted Batsuit.
Yeah.
So you saw them like spray painting over the boots and stuff like that.
Yeah.
I'm really intrigued by this movie.
Yeah.
And I'm really excited for it. And there was nothing there that made me think, oh, it all.
Yeah.
Apart from Ezra Miller's introduction, but apart from that, it had me really excited, and I can't wait to see it. Before we move on to a couple more trailers, then or clips, let's talk about games. So we got trailers for 2 games. So we got Gotham City Knights trailer, which looked a bit meh to me.
So I assume that Batman and Gordon are dead, aren't they?
Mm.
That's what I got from that. So
Yeah.
this is kind of post Batman,
But it can't be post Arkham Knight.
So that's going to be
Batgirl's there.
Yeah, so it looks like we're going to get like Batgirl, the latest Robin, Nightwing, and all of those kind of characters that are trying to do what they've said Batman couldn't do.
Yeah, but it's not in the same universe as the Arkham games.
But then why call it Arkham Knights?
But it can't.
I mean, I know that it's
not. It's Gotham Knights.
Oh God, yeah. Sorry.
No, it's Gotham Knights. Yeah. It's
Yeah.
I'm
really tired.
It's all
sorry.
right, it's fine. I was under the impression that it was going to be, from all the previous stuff, that it was supposed to be like a kind of follow up because it you know, from when it was first announced, it was like Batman's dead, and then the last Arkham game we saw, Batman died. But then you got to think, and Red Hood, Jason Todd as Red Hood would make sense as well, but unless it's a different Batgirl. Barbara Gordon was in a wheelchair last time we saw her.
Yeah, she became Oracle, didn't she?
Exactly.
Point? Yeah.
So it can't be the same. It can't be that Batgirl.
No.
And even from the look of it, it looks very cartoony from the trailer, which isn't necessarily a bad thing.
Yeah.
But it does, and I don't think it looks like a particularly bad game. I think though, when you've seen the trailer for the Suicide Squad Kills the Justice League,
it doesn't compare.
It doesn't compare. It kind of reminds me of how we got the Arkham games, and then we got a different company making Arkham Origins, which just wasn't as good. It was like everyone wanted a new Arkham game, and they gave us that, and everyone was a bit like, that's not what we wanted. That's not what we wanted. And it's like the Suicide Squad game is the next Arkham game.
Yeah.
Obviously, again, different universe, but because it's Rocksteady as well. It's the same people who made the Arkham games. Yeah. But yeah, I think showing both of those games at the same time didn't do Gotham Knights any favours at all. So talking about the Suicide Squad game, spoiler, as if you couldn't guess, can't wait.
Yeah.
Really, really looking forward to this.
Looks like it's going to be
We've not
really
even
good.
seen any gameplay yet.
No.
I hope we get to play as everybody. I hope they don't do a Guardians of the Galaxy and just let us play as Harley Quinn.
I don't think they'll do that. I think there might be certain missions where you can only play certain characters.
Potentially.
I think that's how it might run.
Yeah, maybe.
If that makes sense. I've had those games before where you've got 2 or 3 characters that you can play.
Yeah.
But then there's certain missions where you can only play the one character, but they do kind of swap between which ones can be used.
Yeah.
Or you've got the gameplay where you can swap between each character and just go forth as those. So
hopefully there's a co-op mode.
I think there's something like that.
There should be something where we can just play together.
Do you know what I really miss at the moment? I really like co-op. I love playing co-op. Yeah. What I hate is the big MMO. I hate the fact that I don't want to go in and play somebody
in a sandbox
in America that is 20 million levels above me and can kick my ass in a second because I'm not fantastic. I'm not going to sit here and say I'm an avid gamer. I play games and I enjoy them, but I'm not brilliant. And I don't want my ass whooped every time I go on.
I like playing the stories though.
Yeah. I'd rather sit in a room with my mate and we both have a controller and we just play. Because that's like Gears of War and stuff like that. That was what I loved about those games.
Yeah.
Doing
the main story on
co-op?
Yeah.
It was amazing. Yeah. So I'd love to be able to do something like that again because there's just no games that do it anymore.
But this is perfect for it.
Yeah.
But that's not where people seem to want to go. People want to play games where they just basically go into a level and there's no sort of story in it. They just basically go around killing each other, which is fine because I used to enjoy Call of Duty when I used to play like that, but I like the co-op.
But there's a set design game
thing
for those, so things like Call of Duty and stuff like that, and Fortnite and stuff.
Have those levels in the game
and do that.
Yeah.
But if you're gonna have games with storylines and stuff, keep the co-op situation because I just love being able to play with a mate who's in the same room as me, and it not all being virtual.
And this is perfect for it. How good would it be if we could literally just sit there?
It would have been perfect for Guardians.
You'd be hot. It would have been. Yeah. It would have been absolutely perfect. But they've not made, with Guardians, they've only made one character playable. So they've not even sort of programmed it so that anybody could play Groot. Do you get what I mean? It's like you press a button and he goes off and does this thing. So you are controlling all the characters in Guardians. Yeah. But you're only fully playable as one. Yeah. But you're completely right. They need to set this up so that me and you could play, and just you'd be one of them, I'd be the other one, and then the computer plays the other two, and you can play through the whole game and split it that way. It's crying out for it. Story wise though, rather than just the gameplay, because some people don't care about the game or computer games, it does. It's a really clever idea for it. I get the impression from the trailer that something's made the Justice League all go evil and decide to destroy everybody. I couldn't work out, and you tell me if I'm being really stupid, who that bad guy is with the scarred face. I didn't see a bad guy with a scarred face. The one that's talking through it all. No, I didn't see him. And then I've watched this a couple of times, but there's been so much. And then obviously there was Penguin as well. Yeah, there was Penguin, which I loved that little bit. And then obviously now he's gone up again. Like a cutscene or something. And then Shark trying to join into it, like it was just so funny, and it's so good. That's what I think they've got the humour on there as well, which is really good. They've absolutely nailed the humour. Yeah, I can't wait for it. So I'm really looking forward to it. I think it'll be loads of fun, and it's really good to see that, again, spoiler, it looks like they're fighting the Justice League. Yeah. But then you've got characters like Penguin coming in as well. So there's obviously some involvement with others. I wouldn't have expected to see him at all. No, I wouldn't. No, not at all. I literally thought it was just going to be Justice League, and then you've got your Suicide Squad. Yeah. So I'm quite excited to see how that... It would be quite good if you got like random levels where they brought in like another person from the Suicide Squad who just ends up dying at some point. Yeah, it'd be brilliant. That'd be good. Yeah, like Killer Croc or something like that. One scene with the Weasel running in, just covered in bombs, just goes in and kamikazes a place. Yeah, you could something like that. That'd be so good. That'd be so good. So let's talk about the Peacemaker trailer. We got a full trailer for Peacemaker. We did. All right, we'll talk about the Batman, and I'm excited for Batman. This is the one I'm excited for. I cannot wait. It looks like it's going to be brilliant. I'm a little bit concerned because it's straight to HBO Max, and like we've already said, we don't get HBO Max in the UK. No. So we'll probably get it on Sky, I would guess. Yeah. But it's when we get it on Sky. That's the only issue, because it's out on the 13th of January. It's not far away now. It's not at all, is it? It looks... I was just laughing all the way through this. Yeah. I've watched this trailer like 3 times, and literally every single time I saw something new. I was crying at the eagle hugging him in that garage. Amazing. He's like, Dad, take a picture. Take a photo. He's hugging me. I won't move. And Robert Patrick's his dad from Terminator 2. Yeah. That's like, what the hell? I didn't even know he was in it. No. I had no idea he was in it. The thing that I thought was really good was the new dude who was like training with the mask, Vigilante, and like that whole training the box. The bin. Like, who's that guy handing around the bin? He's like waving. Looks so good. And then what's her name? Is it Danielle Brooks from Orange Is the New Black? Yes, she's like the trainee. I think she's going to be brilliant. She was amazing in Orange Is the New Black. Yeah. She's going to be so good in this. The way that she shoots the dude after he's already dead. He's like, you don't have to shoot him. You don't have to shoot him again. And the best bit of it... Oh, before I do it, there was like some dude they were fighting who was like green. Oh, like a green mask. Did you see him? Yeah. Didn't he look like... Oh, I can't remember the actor's name now. I think he's like in prison for grooming or something. Drake and Josh. You remember Drake and Josh? Drake Bell. Yeah. He did that not another superhero movie. Yeah. It looked like him. It was the same. I swear down. That was the costume. Listeners, go and watch the Peacemaker trailer and then Google not another superhero movie. Brilliant? It's the same suit. Would it be brilliant if you fought someone from like Kick-Ass or something? No. Do you know what? Like one of the characters. If you're just Drake Bell. Yeah, that won't happen. Yes, it should do though. It would be so good. It'd be brilliant. Before we move off Peacemaker, the whole conversation about, are you sure that those parents are the parents of those two kids? Because one of them's alright, but she looks like a butt baby. A butt baby. I thought I was a butt baby until I was 14. My brother said, some babies come out the front and some babies come out the butt. Oh and my God. Thought I was a butt baby. It was so funny. Oh, I was crying. Can we also point out, when I saw him dancing in his apartment in his undies, I was like, okay, the undies scene was funny in the film, so they've thrown it into this. Yeah. But then we saw it again, but mid-fight. Yeah. So obviously someone attacks him while he's in his underwear. It's
the stupid humour, and I just think it's going to be brilliant.
Perfect James Gunn.
Yeah.
I cannot wait
and
to see it.
perfect for John Cena.
It is.
Like, I love that he will just happily take the piss out of himself.
Yes.
Because it really drives me mad when actors are so overly serious.
Yeah.
That they easily get offended. Like, there's a couple of breakout actors that I think have really gone, let's just balls to the wall with it and have fun. You know, even though he's a singer, Justin Timberlake has happily taken the mick out of himself.
Yeah,
He got involved with SNL and was doing all stuff with them.
Yeah.
Channing Tatum. Obviously, we saw him in Free Guy as well.
He was in Free Guy.
After he did This Is the End. And the stupid stuff he's doing, but he's just like, sod it, let's
John
just have
Cena's
fun with
kind
it.
of like the new Channing Tatum, isn't
Yeah,
he? He's
yeah.
the same sort of parts that he would have previously done, I suppose.
Exactly.
Yeah, he's really good. To be fair, I think everything I've seen him in, I don't think I saw him in any of those. I know he did like straight to DVD movies, didn't he, when he started acting?
Yeah.
It was like WWE Studios, which
Did you watch Cock Blockers?
No, I've heard good things about it though.
So he plays like an overprotective dad in it.
Yeah.
But then ends up doing ridiculous stuff to try and find out what's going on with his kid. Like, and it's dead funny to the point where he is upside down chugging a beer into his bum, basically. And it's the weirdest thing I've ever seen in my life. But it is funny. Well, it's him. He's with Leslie Mann.
Yes.
Honestly, watch it. It's hilarious.
I'll give it a go.
They find out that their kid's going to have sex, basically, and it's all about them trying to stop it from happening.
Yeah, I'll give it a go.
On their prom night or something. So, but watch it because it's funny as hell.
Definitely give it a go. Right, before we move on to the Batman trailer then, Wonder Woman 3. So Wonder Woman 3 was announced at...
Oh, was it?
At DC Fandome. Couldn't remember what we were talking about then.
Okay.
Wonder Woman 3 was announced. Jim Lee was there. And also, Linda Carter has said it in an interview. I don't know if it was interview or Twitter. There's so much to get through. She said, "Who would have thought in my life that this gift would just present itself?" And that's so cool. So it's not been confirmed Linda Carter's coming into it as like a main character. But from what she sort of said in this interview, it kind of is. And I know she was in the post-credits, wasn't she?
Yeah, I was about to say, because I know you haven't watched
the second one.
I've not watched it,
no. I've not watched the first one.
She is mentioned as... a legend within
Themyscira.
Yeah. And she...
Who originally did what Diana did, like moved to the
But you know that
big
gold
city
suit that you
with a
see her in
dream.
the trailer?
Yes, it was hers.
It was hers originally.
Okay.
And then you just see a glimpse of her because they're like, no one knows where she is, whether she's alive, we think she's dead, blah, blah, blah. And then it just looks like she's hiding, but still kind of helps people where possible. I think a lamppost is about to fall on a woman with a baby or something. Yeah. And she just stops it. That's a walk, and then she just turns around and does like a little wink at the camera.
Oh, is that it?
That's it. Like it wasn't anything massive.
So she wasn't like interacting with
No words were spoken between them or anything like that. I think Gal Gadot walks off the screen, and then you see her in the background or something like that. Yeah. It's something really simple. And then, as I say, she just looks at the camera, does like a little wink, and then walks off. And it's like everyone just kind of roared for it. But
I'll give it a go.
And I loved it. But if basically she has to come out of hiding or something during Wonder Woman 3, like I think that'd be quite cool.
Yeah, it would be good to get her back.
Nothing major. Like I don't think she should be there for like half the film or anything.
I think she probably. I get the impression she will be from what she's saying. Yeah, just I think the fact that she's coming back at all would probably suggest that she is. I think it's good though because people like nostalgia. We were talking before we started recording. We were talking about Ghostbusters, and people. The reviews are saying it's fantastic, but nostalgia heavy.
I want the story to be good though.
So
That's
do
the thing.
I.
I don't want it to be like a whole movie based on the nostalgia of a character.
No, I know, I get that.
Because that for me, like, this is what I'm loving about the new Ghostbusters. As much as they're bringing in the nostalgia with certain bits, like, it's a whole new story, and it looks like the story is going to be good.
I know.
So it's finding that balance for me. So I just hope they do find it.
Yeah, fingers crossed. But again, just a bit of nostalgia helps, and a little bit of humour.
And people were massively in love with Linda Carter as Wonder Woman as well. Like, it was such a big, successful series.
Legend, isn't she?
Yeah.
Right, let's wrap up DC Fandome then. So, like they did last night. The Batman trailer, except you didn't have to wait 3.5 hours for it on our podcast. Right, so the Batman trailer, we've all been waiting for this for weeks, it seems now, and 3.5 hours, as I said. I thought it was really good.
I thought it looked really good.
Everything. It was what I was expecting, but I think a little bit of me thought I was going to be let down off the back of it. Yeah. I wasn't. It looks so good.
You know, I said about the baddie with the scarred face before.
Yeah.
I think that might be this.
Right, okay. We were getting
That's
our
why
wires
I've got
crossed.
confused. It's because I literally sat and watched trailer after trailer this morning.
I know, yeah.
To make sure that I'd seen them for the podcast.
So the baddie with the scar face is Penguin.
Is that Penguin?
And it's Colin Farrell.
It's Colin Farrell.
Colin Farrell. Yes.
I didn't even recognise him.
Colin Farrell. That is Colin Farrell as the Penguin.
Oh.
How good is that makeup?
That's amazing makeup because I had no idea it was him. No.
Yeah, it's Colin Farrell as Penguin, yeah.
Oh my God. Okay.
So he's obviously going to play... I mean, the villain of the movie is the Riddler.
Yeah.
Paul Dano, I think it is, as the Riddler. We don't really see much of him in the trailer. We see him at the start getting arrested in the...
But you don't really see his face properly, do you?
No, you think you see him later on with like a mask. He looks like he's basically got duct tape all over his face and then a pair of glasses.
I love the question mark in the coffee though. Yeah. That was really cool.
Yeah, that's all you needed to do.
Yeah.
Just put that in there. Yeah. It looks really good. It looks like it's full of action. It's got a proper dark tone to it, which is where you need to go with a Batman movie.
Yes.
They need to be. I don't even think I love the Nolan films, but they could have gone darker with that. They tried to go too mainstream with it, which is what they needed to do because we weren't in the same sort of era of superhero films as we are now. Obviously they were big, but you didn't have full-on R-rated superhero movies because they wanted to just go for the box office. You can now make a full-on R-rated superhero movie and it will do really well at the box office. You can get away with it. And that's a great thing that we're now at that stage where we're going to get, I assume, a pretty dark, gritty Batman. Yeah. And I am so excited for it. Yeah. Pattinson as Batman there was one shot in it where it looked a bit shit, but I think it was just because where you couldn't see his ears or the ears on the suit. It just looked a bit weird, the cowl. Yeah. But the suit looks amazing. I know we'd already seen it, but the suit looks boss. He looks hard as nails in this movie. The fighting in it looked boss. That shot where he was in the corridor or the hallway and they were just shooting, and he was just like bouncing off him. Yeah. That was pretty brutal. I did think, why hasn't no one shot him in the face? Yeah. Because surely after you've shot him 10 times in the body armor, you realise it doesn't do anything. Just
it's a stormtrooper thing, innit? Maybe they're just shit aims.
Shoot him in the face. So wouldn't you think it'd go around like his body armor? Like, anyone who's trying to fight Batman, his body armor is bulletproof. Oh great, but he's basically got like nothing here, covering his nose or mouth. Just shoot him in the head. But it was really good, really surprising. Yeah, I think that's what got me with it. We see Zoe Kravitz as Catwoman. Yes. Rocking loads of different wigs.
I was going to say, because one minute she had like really short hair, and then suddenly it was dead long.
It was a bob, and then there was another moment where it was like dead long hair. Yeah. But I think she's going to be really good as Catwoman. I'm really excited to see her in this. For us as well, loads of shots of Liverpool. Yeah. There was the Live building in there, and there was St George's Hall, where we knew they'd done filming in there as well. So that was weird but cool to see all those, because literally also, they're 10 minutes from our house.
Andy Serkis
as Alfred. Yeah, he's in it. I forgot he was in it.
But I loved it. Cast. I wasn't expecting.
Did you not know he was in
it? No, I did know that he was in it. I've seen Andy Serkis do a lot of very, very different characters. Yeah, he doesn't do the same thing twice. I couldn't see it. I couldn't see him as Alfred at all. And then now that I've seen it, I've gone, that works really well. Like, that's amazing.
You can't see it because it's just Andy Serkis.
Yeah.
Because normally with Andy Serkis, it's like there's like a voice like he does with Claw. And no arm, and he's like proper weird. The way his mannerisms.
Or you've got Gollum, or you've got
Gollum, or whatever else he's being, or what's his
Caesar.
Caesar from Planet of the Apes. So just seeing Andy Serkis as Andy Serkis was a bit like, oh, that's weird, but it was good. I think he'll nail it.
I think he will,
and I think it's a good opportunity for him to just act. Yeah, and I know he did with Claw. Yeah, but he didn't, because it was very like bravado and like really weird and out there. So it's going to be good just to see Andy Serkis just have a good go at acting.
It's a bit more peeled back, isn't it? As a character.
It's not gimmicky. He's just going to give it a really good go, and I think he'll be really good. Yeah.
It looks like like Batman's really got a massive inner battle going on in this one. Like more so compared to what we've seen in the past. Yes. And I'm quite
very like dark and brooding in this one. Yeah. It's early days though, isn't it?
But I'm really looking forward to seeing how it pans out.
I'm really looking forward to this.
It's going to be really good.
But then again, the only thing is the fact that it's not proper DC. Or I know it is proper DC, but it's not the main timeline.
No.
I just want them all to. I like things all tying together. We'll talk about, or not everything. We'll talk about that in a bit when we get to Venom. But I like things all. I like things all tying together. But yeah, I'm mega excited. 4th of March, so not long for that either. And obviously, we'll be covering it on the podcast.
Yes.
I think we've talked about an hour about DC Fandome. Should we do Venom? Let There Be Carnage.
Let's do it.
Right, Venom Let There Be Carnage review. We're not going to do non-spoilers. It's been out for like 3 weeks in America.
Yeah.
We're not going to do non-spoilers. We've waited long enough. We'll go into detail. We'll break it down, what we like, what we didn't like. Can I just start off, right? And I'm going to sum this up really, really succinctly now, but I will go into more detail. I thought this was a terrible movie, but I loved it. That's how I'd put this across. It is not.
Okay. Yeah. No, I agree with that. 100%.
It is not a good film.
No.
But it's brilliant.
Yeah.
I loved it.
Yeah.
From about 10 minutes in, I was like, this is going to be hard work. I didn't really enjoy the first 10 minutes. Pacing was horrible. I didn't think it was good at all. And the further I got into it, and the more of Venom and Eddie Brock I saw, I came away at the end and was just like, that was amazing. It was crap, but it was. I really enjoyed the movie. I think though, the biggest issue I had was the pacing of it.
Yeah,
it was. I didn't see why it was. It was so fast, which is good in some ways because there was no like moments where you were like, "Come on, crack on with the story" or anything like that.
Yeah,
it didn't stop for breath at all. This whole movie, it just flew through, and they could have just added an extra 10 minutes, and it wouldn't have felt.
I was going to say because it was a very quick film as well in general, wasn't it?
It was an hour and a half, an hour and 35 minutes. I think it was,
which is probably
with credits,
the shortest kind of superhero / villain film that we've had in quite some time. But that also added to the fact that if the pacing is already very fast, they've tried to cram a lot into a very narrow amount of time in comparison to what we've been watching and been seeing.
I don't feel like there was loads to cram in.
I don't think there was loads to cram in.
There should have been, but I don't think there was loads to cram in. I think this needed to be a 2-hour film, a 2.5-hour film. I'm
going to say something here. I don't think we got enough carnage.
I don't think we got enough carnage.
That's the thing that I found disappointing.
Not even
he was defeated very quickly.
Yeah.
And
there was no fight.
There was no carnage.
No,
like there was carnage, but there was no it didn't.
Carnage must have been on screen for 10 minutes.
Yeah. Yeah.
I mean, I really enjoyed the film.
I thoroughly enjoyed it.
It was a popcorn movie. It was great.
Yeah.
But this is why I don't think it was a particularly good film. I think the biggest issue was the pace. Now
there was no real peril. Was that? There wasn't like a
Not
big.
Really.
It was the girlfriend again, which it always is, and it just, like when you watch things like The Dark Knight, for example.
Yeah.
And, there was the scene with the hospital, there was the scene with the 2 fairies and stuff like that.
Yeah.
There was real danger for a lot of people, where it was just danger for Venom.
Yeah.
And his people around him.
Yeah,
I felt like there could have been more carnage, there could have been more of him just causing chaos everywhere.
I know what you mean.
Do you know what I mean? I know that obviously he burnt down the home, but that looked abandoned anyway.
I think it was. That's
at that point, it just didn't make any sense for that. I know it stood for something and its symbolism and all that kind of stuff, but it was just a bit like, okay.
I know what you mean. It was the other thing what I thought going into this at the start, literally in the first 10 minutes, was it started very quickly as well. I know we got like the flashback to young Cletus and Francis? Yeah, hang on. What was the name?
Francesca. Francis.
San Francisco. Francis Barrington. That's what it said. Yeah, Shriek. We got young Cletus and young Shriek.
Yeah.
That was weird because it wasn't. I think I'm so used to having de-aged people.
Yeah.
That threw me a little bit because it was the voices. They'd kept the voices but used younger. Use younger people.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? We didn't need.
It's okay that the voice isn't exactly the same. We
It was just a bit that was a bit weird.
Yeah.
But also
poetic license in it. Do you know what I mean?
When we then went into, we had like the flashback, and then we went straight into Eddie walking through through FBI building with Venom sticking out of his shoulder. I just thought that was very quick.
Yeah.
It's like. Yeah, and I don't think we needed a previously on Venom or anything like that, but we needed felt like we needed something to re-establish the character.
Yeah,
because I don't think Marvel can do it. We've talked about this. We did that ranking video last week. Marvel can do this, and they can start a film with no re-establishment and off the back of a post-credit scene.
Yeah.
Sony, you can't do it with Venom.
No.
And I knew it, but only because I'd watched Venom 1 last week. I
Yeah.
feel like it was a bit jarring for people who hadn't watched the Venom films since 2018. Would have been.
Yeah.
I think they just needed
Even
to do
if they'd
something.
have started with him sitting there going through the papers that had told the story of the first one.
Yeah.
You know, like this, and he's like, we've really got to lay low. Because he did do that, but only like 25 minutes in or something.
I know.
And it was like, if you'd have put that scene at the very beginning, when we first come back to Brock and Venom, that would have told that bit of the story, and that would have caught us up quite quickly, and then follow it up with you being, even being like involved with the FBI and stuff like that.
Yeah.
It was just very quick. There was no knock at his door first to say, you need to come with us.
Yeah, it was just,
like,
I'm in the
he's
FBI
already
now.
in there.
Yeah,
and it was like, I feel like I'd just missed about 10 minutes.
It was, and I know I've already said this anyway, but I've literally just said it about Marvel coming off a post-credit scene. Cletus in Venom 1 was post-credits.
Yeah.
They've come off the back of a post-credit scene with no explanation as to who this guy is, no re-establishment as to who he is. I know who he is because of, as I said, I watched it a week ago, but also I know the lore. You know, I know who Cletus Cassidy is. I know he's a serial killer.
Yeah.
It didn't really give much. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
It started off post-credit scene. It should have started with the scene where in there, or something similar to where Venom rescues that woman getting mugged.
Yeah.
To re-establish who Venom is. Rather than just bang, we're in the FBI station or we're in the police station and that's it. We're sort of off from there.
Yeah.
It was just a bit too rushed.
Can I tell you my favourite bit?
Yeah, go on.
So my favourite bit, which made me absolutely howl, was Mrs. Chan.
Oh yeah, I've got that down. Yeah.
When she was Venom.
That's it. When she was flirting with Venom as Mrs. Chen was flirting with Anne.
Like it was like I was watching, and again, this has come from like the theatre and acting side. I was watching the woman play Mrs. Chan. She wasn't like a funny character at all.
No, not particularly.
But then once Venom was in it, and she's like doing all these facial expressions and being like all with the neck and giving the attitude and things like that. Even without Venom's eyes being there, like it was just brilliant acting, and I just thoroughly enjoyed it. And my other favourite bit was Sonny and Cher, the two chickens.
Oh, yes.
That was funny as hell.
Venom was great in this.
Yeah, he was.
That Sonny and Cher, the chickens, were off the back of Venom being so stupid.
Yeah.
He wasn't like that in the first movie.
No.
He's like taking a complete turn to proper goofy
They've played
character.
up on him a little bit more.
Yeah, but I kind of love it.
Yeah, I did.
I really liked it.
Yeah.
It felt...
Even though, because we've sat here, to be fair, in the past and said Venom needs to be dark.
I think going back, because I said I've rewatched Venom 1. I'd only seen Venom 1 once before we were like prep for this.
Yeah.
And I didn't really remember. I didn't even remember Dr. Dan being in it. I'll be dead honest. And I don't remember Venom being as dark as he was.
Yeah.
And having now rewatched Venom 1, I'm kind of okay with how dark he went in there and how much of a bit of a goof he is now. I would have liked to see the whole Spider-Man story with it.
Yeah.
Because we're in spoilers. We're now obviously getting him in the MCU. We'll talk about it in a bit more when we get there. But we'll talk about it when we get there. We'll talk about it when we get there. But yeah, he's gone like proper. He's a proper goof character. But I do like it.
Yeah.
And I don't want to see it. I don't think you could now take him and make him dark again.
My absolute favourite scene with him was in the club. When he was with all the weirdos, didn't you?
No, I thought it was a bit stupid. There were a couple of scenes that I thought were a bit silly and stupid. And I think this was it.
I found it hilarious purely for the fact that, in a way, it was like his own struggle, wanting to be able to eat whoever he wants and all of that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
And he's accidentally fallen into some kind of cosplay Halloween type thing, and everyone just thinks he's in a costume.
Yeah.
And then he just steals the mic and just starts like ranting about his life, and it's just so stupid. It just made me laugh so much at the same time. It was hilarious.
I found it was funny, but I was just a bit like, this is too. It was just a bit too far for me. There were a couple of moments. There was that.
As soon as I saw him with all of the glow in the dark necklaces and bracelets on, I was like, That's just ridiculous.
It was.
But I was living for it.
It
I
was too
pissing
far for
myself.
me. And the other bit that I was like, what the hell is going on here, was when Carnage breaks out of the prison and just turns into a tornado in the middle of the prison.
Yeah.
I was like, what's this? What? Why? How? And he was like still not standing. In the middle of the tornado, he's just like in it, not spinning anymore. But there's a tornado spinning around him in the middle of a prison.
It didn't make
and
much
I was
sense.
a bit, that's too far,
And
got
it, only,
the other way.
and it only dragged the prison officer and not the prisoners that were all within the tornado as well.
I know. It
like
just
it was
a bit,
just a bit much.
It was a bit OTT.
Yeah.
That bit. I said it wasn't a good film. I've said this. I enjoyed it.
Yeah.
I did. I really did enjoy it. And I said that I think one of the big things for it, not all of the characters, but it had quite a lot of. I think with the main characters like Eddie and obviously Venom, because the class them as two different characters.
Yeah.
Anne was great. I didn't think we'd see that much of her in it.
No, I didn't think we'd see that much of her.
Dr. Dan as well. I mean, let's talk about characters, but I don't think all the characters got great amounts of development. But I think the thing that rescued it for me was the character development we got with those main characters.
And do you know what? I would not have associated. Is it Steve Graham?
Stephen Graham, yeah.
Yeah. Love him, by the way.
Yeah, I love him.
Local actor again, so he's from Liverpool.
He's from
near
well,
us.
yeah.
His
You could hear the Scouse accent.
yeah,
You could hear him really struggling.
his story arc, like the fact that he was the police officer that had shot Shriek in the face.
Do you think that was well explained enough?
No, and this is what I'm about to say. If he hadn't have had that flashback, because I saw the hearing aid and I went, why is he wearing that hearing aid?
Yeah.
And then he had the flashback and I went, right, okay. But the fact that I was questioning it shows that there was without that flashback, you wouldn't have known that was the same person.
No, neither would I. No,
And
I read in all the prep for this, like months ago, that I was reading about the characters because I was like, who's Stephen Graham playing?
Yeah.
And I read, and it said in that interview that he's deaf in one ear in that interview, and that stuck with me. So when we watched the beginning and she shrieked down his ear, it was only then that I was like, right, well, that's obviously him then.
Yeah.
But if I hadn't read that interview,
I
would not have put that together.
No, I wouldn't
at
have
all.
put them together.
Not at all. But it's not like we had a 2.5 hour movie here where they couldn't fit anything else in. It was an hour and 35 minutes, like with credits.
Yeah.
Just give us a bit more.
We could have got some more backstory from him.
It was too fast.
Do you know what? And I must say,
and we didn't spend enough time on him.
Even his death.
Did he die?
Yeah.
He didn't die.
Well, no, he didn't.
I don't even know what that was about.
No. The blue eyes.
No. Right, let's do characters.
Okay.
We're going to do characters.
Okay.
We wasn't going to start with Stephen Graham, but let's start with Stephen Graham.
Okay.
We've done a bit about it already. I didn't get it. That I said I knew it, but I don't. My wife came to me with this. Bless her. She doesn't like superhero movies, but she came to me because me and Andy couldn't go together because it was being Shrek. But I kept looking at her and she was just lost.
Yeah.
And I don't think that's because she's not really interested in these.
No,
I just don't think she knew what was going on.
No.
And we're digressing it, right? I know we digress. Sorry, we are. We'll get back to Stephen Graham in a minute. We've been to the cinema a couple of times now since COVID sort of stopped. We've seen Black Widow. We've seen the Suicide Squad and Shang-Chi.
Yeah.
I had to check 3 different cinemas because I couldn't get seats for this.
Really?
Couldn't get tickets. View in Cheshire Oaks, where we normally go, couldn't get seats. Odeon Bromborough couldn't get seats. So I ended up going to the Light in New Brighton.
Did you see? I went to View in Birkenhead.
It was rammed.
20 people.
No, it was absolutely chocker full. And I was just sitting there thinking, how? But I was also thinking, there's no way these people are just... I think it's like the fact that it's Venom and it's a bit stupid and it's Tom Hardy and stuff like that. That's why people have gone for it and the marketing. But... There's no way these people would have all known what was going on.
Locally, people may have gone for Steve Graham because it's a local, like celeb in it.
Yeah, I know what you mean. But yeah, that just struck me, and again, it just made me think. There's no way these people are all like die-hard fans, and you could tell they weren't because most of them left before the after credits.
Oh, did they?
It emptied out.
Oh, yeah.
It emptied out.
So in our place it did as well when I was watching
there's
it.
no way all these people know all the lore about Venom and stuff like that. They must have all been lost throughout this movie. But anyway, so like, the first thing lost them, Stephen Graham. Great.
Yeah.
Good actor.
Yeah.
Didn't have enough to do.
No.
It was such a short movie anyway. They could have given him an extra 10 minutes. Just a bit of an explanation.
Yeah.
Not just massively underused. The ending then, I don't understand what was going on.
No.
I thought that I missed something.
Obviously we thought that Shriek killed him.
Yeah, she hung him, didn't she?
She went to hang him and then he fell off and he landed on a spike.
Did he land on a spike?
Yeah,
Okay.
that's what happened. So
Okay.
it's literally gone through his chest.
Okay.
So I was like, dead.
I didn't even see that.
And I was like, well,
I saw him land on something, but I didn't see him land on a spike.
well, that's how
you
what
saw
it.
it.
Well, it was
Okay.
the noise, and that's how it came
Yeah,
across
I
to
heard
me.
the noise.
So
Yeah.
I assume that's what happened. He's been impaled onto something, and then that was it. And I was like, after all that building up of his character,
What a waste.
that they've tried to do and not done greatly successfully, that was a death that was over too quickly.
Yeah.
And then at the very end, his eyes open and he's got really like ice blue,
Like Shriek's eyes.
like White
Shriek's left
Walker
that.
type eyes.
Yeah.
It was that kind of thing.
Yeah.
And then that's all we saw of him.
But right, so in the comics, he gets a symbiote as well.
Right.
So he's called Toxin in the comics.
Right. Okay.
Who is kind of like a good version of Venom.
Right.
So he's like proper like lethal protector. There's not even like an evil side to him. I mean, I
Yeah.
suppose like a bit of an anti-hero because he's got a symbiote in him. But
Yeah.
this is my understanding of it anyway.
Okay.
But so I assumed.
And is he
where
blue?
I don't think so. I think probably like a purpley blue Venom type thing, like a very dark blue, because he's not going to be like bright blue with like flashing lights or anything, is he? But he's got glowy eyes, glow in the dark eyes now.
Yeah.
But there was nothing there that to me said that's what it is.
No.
At no point did he possibly get a symbiote.
No.
There was nothing. It was just he's
No, because his
been
fight was
nearly
with
killed.
Shriek.
Exactly.
It's not like apart from being held like physically restrained by Carnage at the beginning of the wedding.
Yeah.
There was no interaction between Carnage and him. It was all for Shriek to be able to get a revenge.
He'd have started turning into a symbiote a little bit quicker than than that. So that threw me. And again, it just massively suffered from the fact that it didn't need to be that quick. Didn't need to be that fast paced. It was a short movie anyway. So we've already mentioned it. Let's talk about Shriek. So Naomi Harris, such a good actress.
Tia Dalma.
You just said a random
Is that
word to me.
from Pirates of the Caribbean?
Yes.
Calypso.
Yes.
Yeah. Okay. I did think that.
Yeah.
And I was just trying to.
Moneypenny from James Bond.
Yes.
Yes.
I was trying to work it out all the way through, and I couldn't get my head around it properly.
Yeah,
but I was
yeah.
like, I'm sure it's her.
Weird part for her, I think.
Yeah.
Very serious
Unusual.
actor.
Yeah,
Good
yeah.
actress.
Yeah. She's
Very
brilliant.
good actress. Seeing her in this, I was a bit like, oh, that's weird. And the way she acted, because we didn't really see much of her in the trailers at all. We saw her screen twice. That was it.
Yeah.
She was a very weird character. Good. She nailed it. But again, she didn't really have a massive amount
To do.
No. I don't.
It's like, for example, the escape. The escape when he saves Shriek from the lab.
Yeah.
And he throws her into that car. She knows exactly what car type it is that he happened to find outside.
Yeah.
And she's like, it's my favourite car. And he's like, I know.
That
That was random.
How?
And then the fact that
Add
she
that
was
to the dialogue
a
at the
very
start.
skilled getaway driver that had nothing to do with anything. Like, it just...
30 seconds of dialogue
Yeah.
at the start. Me and you, baby, we're going to escape. Yeah, and we're going to get a 1966 whatever.
Give it more of a Bonnie and Clyde feel.
Yeah.
Something like that to be like...
we're going to go and do this.
Yeah.
Have her saying she's going to drive
Yeah.
off in this car because she loves it and that's my favourite car, blah,
Yeah.
blah, 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 blah. And he's like, oh, whatever for you, princess, or something like that.
Yeah.
30 seconds of dialogue to nod back to at
Yeah.
that stage where it was just like, oh, she likes cars, does she?
She likes cars and she's dead good at getaway driving and doing...
idea. No idea.
Reversing and then spinning round into a
Exactly.
Like, it
Also-
just made no sense.
Also, why did she have powers?
Well,
She's at this school for unwanted kids. So basically, she's in an orphanage.
yeah.
Is everybody there got powers? Is it like an X-Mansion, or is she just somebody in there
This
with
is
random
what I
powers?
was wondering. I didn't know whether it was like a nod to the X-Men, but then I was like, I don't know if they can say any more than they've said.
Well, I know I think Shriek in the comics had a symbiote as well, and used to have that power. I think.
But then that makes no sense to me. The reason being is that why would a symbiote have the power to shriek? That kind of
Yeah,
the
it
noise
make
thing
sense.
with all symbiotes, it wouldn't.
No, it wouldn't make sense, would it?
No.
I don't know, I must be wrong.
I don't know. It just seems very. I don't know.
It was again that it felt like a bit of an unnecessary character. I mean, I know it was Cletus's motivation to get out and go and do it, but I don't even think that was necessary. I don't think we needed that. We could have just spent more time with Cletus. He could have just been an absolute lunatic who wants to go around killing people.
Yeah.
It could have just been a revenge mission.
I also think they tried to give you the...
Why couldn't he have just wanted to go after Mulligan?
Yeah. I think they also tried to give you the the backstory of a villain to make you feel a bit more sorry for him and not want him to completely fail and things like that as well.
Yeah, they did.
But again, that was rushed.
Yeah.
Because then he was like, what they didn't tell you is that I was abused, blah, blah, blah. And then that was over. That was done.
Mid-fight.
And it's like...
Mid-fight, 2 seconds, you miss it.
That point, you could have given us the flashback that you'd started giving with the drawings and stuff like that. I loved it. I thought it was brilliant.
I did. Very Harry Potter.
Yeah. But if they'd have given it that with the abuse, and it, you didn't...
Or do another drawing.
It didn't have to be like anything graphic, but you could just do the adult closing the door with the kid cowering in the corner, something like that to just show that he actually had it pretty shit.
Yeah,
and they needed to.
They didn't need to do that dark abuse. They could have just like beat him up all the time.
That's what I mean. It's just that it's the power thing, isn't it?
Yeah,
that's what I meant. And now he's taking the power by killing everybody.
Yeah,
and like it's that kind of thing for me that just would have.
They tried to give us
would have completed the story.
Exactly.
I feel like the story is just unfinished.
Yes, I agree. They've tried to give us a villain who we kind of care about, and you can sit there and go, well, I kind of get why he's a bit messed up.
Yeah.
But they dropped it into the final battle for 2 seconds. All the way through, he was just like, he's just a lunatic.
Yeah.
And I think you kind of got a bit of buy-in because it was Woody Harrelson, and he's just an absolute legend.
Yeah.
But yeah, it was just too rushed.
Yeah.
Let's talk about Tom Hardy and Venom then. Amazing.
I love Tom Hardy.
I like Tom Hardy.
I think that he's a fantastic actor. This is probably the most different thing we've seen him in.
Yeah.
He always plays a hard man.
Yeah, he does, yeah.
Like every time, everything that we've seen him in, he's played a hard man. He's done the Cray twins. He's done that Taboo thing that he did on BBC where he was like a proper grok and things like that. It's always very mafia. But the first thing I ever saw him in was a TV series from one of the Martina Cole books.
Right, okay.
And he was a mafia guy in that.
Yeah.
And he was dead scrawny at that point. He didn't have the kind
even if he's not a hard
beefy.
Man, he's always cocky. He's always got cockiness and arrogance to him.
And that's what he was in this. Again, he was like he was running a bit of a mafia then in that TV series.
In Inception, he's not really a hard man, but he's got an arrogance to him.
Yeah.
Whereas he's not in this.
Yeah. And this is just.
I liked it.
It's a bit of a gimp, isn't he?
Yeah,
in this, like that's the best way to put it. Like he's a bit of he just.
But I like it.
No, I love it, and that's what I mean. Like, I find it refreshing. I love it. It's like Adam Sandler when I saw him in the film that he did about the 9/11, and Adam Sandler is a phenomenal actor.
Yeah, I can see that. Yeah.
I've seen comedy so many times from him, and some of it's worked and some of it hasn't, and I've gone, oh, this seems to be all he can do. I then watched that film and thought, actually, this guy needs some credit.
What film's this? 9/11.
I'll look it up for you. I can't remember what
it's
called.
Not Uncut Gems.
No, it's with Don Cheadle.
Oh, I know what you mean. Yeah.
Rain on Me.
Yes, I know what you mean. Yeah.
Phenomenal.
Yeah.
And it's the same with Robin Williams. We've seen Robin Williams in so many funny films, but then you watch that 1 hour photo and
oh yeah, dark.
The creepiest thing I've ever seen.
Yeah.
But again, he was phenomenal.
Yeah.
And for me, this is what Tom Hardy's done. He's gone away from
his usual
doing all the hard knock characters and played this bit of a dweeb that like has something taken over him constantly. And I think he plays it brilliantly. Again,
it's tough to play because he's playing 2 parts as well. That's the thing, isn't it?
Yeah,
he was playing 2 because he voiced Venom.
I know, yes. And I just think it's brilliant. And I knew that he voiced Venom in this one because of the fact that when he didn't have Venom and he was sat in front of the computer and he did the What Would Venom Do, he did the voice. I don't know whether you noticed it.
Yeah,
he got angry and he kind of gruffed it. And I was like,
I noticed that in Venom 1 as well a couple of times, though, yeah.
But I just thought he was fantastic all the way through.
I just loved the dynamic between the two of them.
The bit when he slaps Anne's fella made me laugh, Dr. Down, so much. And then he's like, sorry. Just like walks off, and it was just brilliant. And it's that kind of thing. Like
the whole dynamic between
characters all the way
three
through.
of those, or the 4 of them. Like the proper little 4s. Dr. Down was amazing.
I loved when Anne had Venom in her
again.
That was brilliant. I just found it all so.
She's like, I'm never doing that again. Well, maybe not. Maybe.
Yeah, I liked it.
Yeah, she kind of likes it. It's really enjoyable.
But no, I just think he was fab.
Yeah,
I thought he was brilliant. And when he threatened to break the chicken's neck and then wouldn't do it.
Yeah.
And that's just the epitome of it, isn't it? Yeah. That he was just...
So good.
He's a good guy, isn't he?
Yeah. I think Anne as well, Michelle Williams, she was very different in this one as well to in the first one. She was very serious in the first one.
Yeah.
And in this, she just wasn't. The whole, like, I love how everybody who knew Venom treated Venom. Like, Mrs. Chen's like, hi, Venom. And then, like, Anne's just like, hey, Venom, like that sort of thing. He is just like a complete separate character.
Yeah.
And even that bit when, I think, does Eddie drop down the bell tower and Venom drops down and he goes through Dr. Dan, through Anne, and then into to catch him. Yeah, I thought that was really good. I really liked that. It was not a good film, but it was fun. It was just a really fun film. Similar to Suicide Squad, the first one. Yeah, it was. It was just really. It was stupid. It was really entertaining. But I think there was
missed parts of the story to just fill it out and make it.
It needed to be longer.
Yeah.
But I do feel like with this, probably similar as I just mentioned to the first Suicide Squad, there were parts of it that took me out of the film. That was the only bad thing with this. Yeah, like the Carnage tornado.
Yeah.
That took me out of it completely. The Venom in the club, that took me out of it completely.
Yeah.
It was a bit too. It overstepped the mark a couple of times.
Yeah.
Lastly, then we haven't really talked about him. Woody Harrelson.
Amazing.
As Cletus. For the time he was on the screen doing something, he was amazing. He was on quite a lot as Cletus.
Yeah.
He played Cletus really well.
You did.
But his Carnage wasn't great. It wasn't. And I know the whole point of the end of the movie was that they didn't achieve symbiosis. Symbiosis, is that the right word? They went a match. Him and
they weren't
Cletus.
one.
They weren't one.
Yeah.
But I've always seen Carnage and Cletus as being one. Do you get what I mean?
Yeah,
and I think they sort of moved too much away from the comic accurate one. And I know like they've gone in this whole thing with the buddy. It's a buddy cop movie, isn't it? Venom and Eddie like arguing with each other and doing it as a team. But I don't think it worked for Carnage.
No,
he's supposed to just be like Carnage. I always see as being like Cletus, a bit of a nutter.
Look at the introduction to the fight. When it's funny, but Venom does the shit, that is a red one. Like all of that bit was brilliant, and it's like if Venom is scared, then that's bad.
Yeah. Oh yeah,
but then it wasn't that bad.
It wasn't that scary. It wasn't that bad.
It was like he kind of just.
Carnage needed to be as crazy, if not crazier, than Cletus.
Yeah.
And he wasn't. He was very like, I've got a plan. I'm using you. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And it wasn't. I just thought it was just rushed.
Yeah.
It was just too rushed. They didn't even need to kill him.
No.
Why did they not? Do you know what? They killed Shriek. They could have just killed Shriek and had that be the win, and then Carnage buggered off to come back another day. Do you know what I mean? And for them to bond more, and for Carnage, not Cletus, to become a bit more crazy because he's been with. Because clearly they can rub off on each other because Venom in Venom 1 was a psycho killer, and now he's a goofball like Eddie Brock. So they could have gone down that route, but they just didn't. And as I said, I think he just wasn't on the screen enough.
No.
And I feel like it's kind of a waste because they've now killed him. It's a waste of a character because that's it now. That's Carnage done.
Yeah.
It's over, and that just wasn't a great use.
However, again, with the ending, we've got the multiverse.
We have. Let's talk. We'll talk about the ending. What are your thoughts? Come on, what are your thoughts on the after credits? We mean, obviously.
Okay, so as soon as I can never remember how to say his name. Is it J. Jameson? No.
J.J. Jameson. Yeah.
Yeah, J.J. Jameson. As soon as I saw him on the news report in the background, I was like, oh my god. But the bit that I didn't understand was the flip from him being in one place to another.
So I think it was quite confusing the way they did it.
Yeah.
But the way I saw it was Venom was going to show him a tiny little glimpse of what he's seen in the universe because he's probably thousands of years old.
Yeah.
They shouldn't have done that because I don't think that had anything to do with the fact that he's now in a different place.
No.
I don't think at all.
No.
It just confused the situation.
Yeah.
Why couldn't you have them just mid-conversation talking about that soap that they were watching and then it flips? Yeah. So they didn't need to add that in because it just confused it. The way I read it is, though, whatever in No Way Home has pulled... the spell, Doctor Strange's spell, having pulled everybody in, has pulled Eddie in.
Yeah.
It's dragged him into it because he's a Spider-Verse character at the end of the day. It's somehow dragged him in, and that's what's happened.
Yeah.
So he's been teleported from that apartment in one country, wherever he was, to another apartment in another country, which was already some dude's room.
Yeah.
That's what's happened there. It
Yeah.
just overcomplicated it, though, adding that other little bit in.
Yeah,
But and then obviously we see Tom Holland on the screen.
Yeah.
Which really looked really awkward as well, the way that they had it on the screen, but I'll let him off. But I don't know how I feel about it.
Don't you?
No, not at all.
Why?
I'm excited. I'm really excited to have Venom in the MCU, but then I'm not, because I want my Venom in the MCU, and I don't think they can. And I know, obviously, you just said, like, you could technically have a different version of Venom and stuff like that. I think if you bring in this one in, it's gonna negate anything. Because at the end of the day, if Tom Holland, or let's say Tom Holland, we'll just call him Tom Holland because we've got 3 different Spider-Men now.
Yeah.
If Tom Holland meets this Venom, and has the whole, and he's in, which I think he probably will be now in No Way Home. I think he'll probably be fighting alongside Toby and Andrew and Tom Holland. You then can't do a Venom where Tom Holland's got no idea what he is and he ends up with a black suit.
Yeah.
You can't do that now because he knows.
But then now that we've pulled the Tobey Maguire one in,
I'm looking forward to that.
Again?
I'm looking forward to that because I'm quite looking forward to Toby seeing a different Eddie Brock and a Venom suit, because he's not going to trust him.
No.
He's just going to be like, whoa, no way I'm going anywhere near that dude, because he's a nutter. Yeah. So that is going to be interesting. But I just don't know. That's if they put...
Unless he goes, fancy a dance.
You imagine?
I never want to see that again. It's the one scene I never want to see.
Let's pretend that one. Do you know what? They could do that. They could just pretend that never happened. They could retcon that and get it out and just get rid of it. I don't know where they're going to go with it.
I reckon they should do it, and then you just see the TVA turn up as he dances and goes, no, this was never supposed to happen.
No, prune him. Prune him. That'd be amazing. Mobius just popping him and going, no. I don't know where it's going to go. I think part of me thinks that Marvel have just done a really good job, because obviously they've hid Andrew Garfield and Toby. I know we know that they're in there, but they've hid them. So part of me thinks that they've just done a good job of hiding Tom Hardy as well, and Tom Hardy's going to be a part of No Way Home. Yeah. But then is it too much? It's too many characters, maybe. But then another bit of me is like, he's just going to be there watching, and then at the end of No Way Home, maybe he'll be in the post-credit scene. Yeah. Or something like that. Where they're then going to take that story, I don't know. But here's an idea. What if it's only Toby that sees him at one point as Venom? Yeah. And because of his past relationship with Venom, sees him as bad, and then Venom has to go on the defensive and be bad. Yeah, so as like a self. I just can't see that
protection.
Venom being bad,
but not necessarily in this film.
Yeah, I don't know.
Do you know what I mean?
I think they've gone too far with the character, and I love the character. I love goofy, nice Venom. I like it, and I think that's where it needed to go anyway. I don't think if with the Raimi Spider-Man 3 they hadn't killed Venom off, which I wish they hadn't, and I know it didn't go anywhere, but the way that I would like a Venom done would be similar to the Amazing Spider-Man series, or the Spectacular, whatever it was called, the Spider-Man series we used to watch when we were kids. Yeah. Where he starts off... Yeah, but I kind of want him to become the anti-hero. Because in that, he became the anti-hero. He saved the day. He was good. And that's the way I would like them to go. And I'm quite happy for them to go end up with a bit of a goofy Venom like we've got now. Yeah. I just kind of feel we've missed a step. And we had to because of rights issues. But that's the only thing that I'm a bit sad about. Yeah. He's got to where I would want him completely. Yeah. But I didn't want him to get here that way. Yeah. So I'd be okay with him now being in the MCU and being part of the universe. But I don't think he'll be there.
Seen at least one fight with Spider-Man.
Yeah, I just don't think he'll be there forever. I think with the way that they've got Anne and Dr. Dan, I think it'd just be weird to never have him see those people again. And I think when Toby and Andrew go back to their universes, Eddie's going to want to go back to his universe, and I think that'll be Venom over. Yeah. And if we then end up with a Venom in the MCU, he's just not going to be a threat, because Tom Holland's just going to be like, well, I know what you are. I know what this is. I know how to deal with it. I know what he is. Well, do you know what I mean? Yeah. It's just not going to be the same threat. I'm excited to see what happens with it. I really am. Yeah. But I'm very, very cautiously optimistic about it. I'm not convinced. I don't think I wanted it. I don't think I wanted it to. But he's in. That's it now. It's done. It's done. He's MCU now. Yeah. But I'm still not convinced I'm happy.
I'm excited.
I'm excited. I am 100% excited to see what happens. I just don't know if I'm happy for it to be there.
Yeah.
There's obviously something massive going on in the background here with Sony.
Yeah.
Some sort of agreement. And I'm guessing that not Morpheus. What's the vampire?
Morbius,
that's it.
Yeah,
Morpheus, Mobius. There's too many Morpheuses and Mobiuses.
Yeah.
Morbius.
Yeah.
What's that again then? Morbius. That's obviously going to end up crossing over because you've got Keaton. Michael Keaton's in it. We've seen him in the trailers.
Oh God, yeah.
We know he's in it. I also think, if you remember, on some of the set photos from Morbius, there's a bus, and it says, "Where is Spider-Man?"
Oh, okay.
So I think that universe's Spider-Man, whether that's Andrew or Toby, has been pulled out of that reality into No Way Home. So that's why it's like, where the hell's Spider-Man gone? Because he's just disappeared from that reality.
That'd be cool.
Another thing that's got me questioning, and looking back, because we've probably only talked about this a couple of weeks ago.
Yeah.
You know when the No Way Home trailer came out?
Yeah.
And there's that shot where we think it's Lizard slashing at Tom
be
Holland,
Venom.
and I joked and went, maybe it's Venom. Maybe it's Venom.
Could be.
Because you can't see a face.
No.
If you go back and look at that trailer,
No.
that could well be Venom slashing at him.
Yeah.
And I get the impression that Doctor Strange is going to have all these villains rounded up in the sanctum, in cages, and that's going to be him stood in front of it. So you could just literally end up with Eddie Brock sat in a cage. I can literally see the scene playing out. I can see him go down, seeing Doc Ock, Sandman, not Lizard, Eddie Brock just sat in a cage, and him turning around going, why is this dude sat in the cage? And then he goes to Venom and slashes at the thing. I can see, it could perfectly be like that.
Yeah.
But I can't. I don't know. I don't know what's going to do. I'm excited, but I'm excited, but
I can't wait.
I can't wait, but I think we're going to find out a lot in either the next trailer for No Way Home. We've moved quickly on from Venom to No Way Home here, but that's rumored to be coming really soon.
Yeah.
So, fingers crossed. We'll see. We might see. I think now is the time where they're probably going to show Toby and Andrew and potentially Tom Hardy.
Yeah.
In this trailer now. Anyway, should we see what the listeners thought of Venom and DC Fandome?
No, let's go do it.
Pod fans assemble.
So first of all, we've got the DC Fandome, and we asked, other than the Batman trailer, what did you love most from the reveals? Kids, what are we watching tonight? Said there was other stuff.
Exactly. That's why I asked that. That's why I asked it, because all anyone was talking about was Batman.
Yeah. Then Kenneth said Wonder Woman 3 confirmation from Jim Lee and Patty on stream, and that Linda Carter is in the main cast after they teased at the end of the second movie post credits. Yeah, I'm actually quite excited to see what
I need
they
to
will
watch.
do.
I need to watch some of these DC movies, don't I?
Again, because I know obviously how you feel about Wonder Woman, and I really enjoyed number 2. That again, it's a bit. I understand where people came from when they were like about
Kristen
Wiig's character and how she ends up, but they did a storyline justice, and I think if you watch it, you'll understand what I mean.
Okay.
Sheldon Pink said the Flash movie snippet was intriguing and has me gagging for more. I agree. The Black Adam sneak preview was also amazing. I want to play Suicide Squad Kill the Justice League now.
I do.
20-year Smallville anniversary, what the F?
We didn't talk about that, did we?
No, we didn't.
There was one.
Are they doing something with it?
Oh, it's just a Blu-ray release. It was a Blu-ray release, but they had Michael Rosenbaum and who played Clark?
Oh, I know
Tom Welling.
They
had Tom Welling. Yeah, they both looked. To be fair, Michael Rosenbaum didn't look that old. Tom Welling. Definitely.
Peacemaker said my show was the highlight.
Yeah, I agree. Peacemaker, I agree with you.
Yeah. And Alan Hangover said the Black Adam teaser trailer. Pierce Brosnan.
Yes.
I'm quite intrigued to see how he does in that.
What a good cast. It looks like a decent cast, particularly Pierce Brosnan. But I always... Do you know what? If I hadn't seen Pierce Brosnan in Percy Jackson and the Lightning Thief, I'd be more excited because he just phoned that in completely.
If I hadn't
seen him... And a little bit of me thinks he was phoning this, and he was like, oh, I'm really excited to be in a comic book movie.
If I hadn't seen him in the most recent Eurovision movie with Will Ferrell
I didn't know he was in that.
Doing a terrible Danish or Swedish accent or whatever it is he does.
I didn't know he was in
I'd have absolutely been well excited for it, but part of me is like, oh, I don't know. So I need to see what he does.
Yeah.
The thing is, since James Bond, Pierce Brosnan has done a few questionable films.
Mamma Mia. is singing a Mamma Mia.
Yeah, I mean,
Your
let's
face
not
there.
shy away from how bad that was.
No, it wasn't good.
I mean, did you ever see the comic relief version with Jennifer Saunders and Dawn French?
No.
The guy who was pretending to be Pierce Brosnan, when he got to his song, he just went, blah, 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 blah.
Basically what he did.
And then everyone sits
But
there
he
singing
did.
along, going, bah, 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 bah. And it's just so funny the way they did it. Alan Carr's in that as well.
But he didn't,
hilarious.
he phoned it in with, he didn't really seem like he was massively into that. He didn't really seem like he was massively into that Percy Jackson, which I don't blame him. But
Yeah.
and he didn't sell me how excited he was on this. Everybody else seemed really keen. He was talking, but I don't get why they got Pierce Brosnan to. But then neither did Ezra Miller.
Do you know what though? As much as I understand that, every Johnny Depp interview I've seen.
Yeah, are we getting to Johnny Depp?
No, because you're talking about like how he doesn't sound excited about anything.
Yeah.
Johnny Depp is like that. Like all the time.
Yeah,
like
Johnny
I've not
Depp's
seen one where he's not lively in any way, shape or form compared to the characters that you see him portray on.
Yeah, I
on
know,
screen.
but he always does.
Like,
that's the thing.
No, I know.
Yeah,
I
even
get
when
that.
even like 21 Jump Street, when it was just like he was in it for like 5 minutes, he proper was into it. He's always into it, what he does. Apart from, isn't that The Tourist? That's supposed to be bad. I've not seen that.
Oh, I've not. Oh, I might have. I don't know. Okay, so Venom 2. Paul Sear said, really enjoyed it. Thought Venom and Eddie had a great interaction with each other, providing some great comedic moments. The broken nose thing made me laugh as well.
That was good, yeah.
Woody Harrelson was excellent as Cletus. Venom definitely steals the show, and I would love to see him in the MCU for real. Post-credit was mind-blowing.
I don't know if I do. I don't know if I do.
I do. It's out there. I want to see it.
I don't know.
I would love to see a more scary version of Venom.
But I don't think we're going to
Borderline
get it.
horror, but I don't think we will get
We're
it.
not going to get it now.
Lethal Protector said, I thought it was good, many laugh out loud moments, but something seemed rushed or choppy when it came to the storyline.
100%.
Exactly. Can't quite put my finger on it. The mid-credit scene was definitely the highlight for me. I do think the first was better. Would give it a 7 out of 10. Hello said, found it a bit blur. It's at its best when Tom Hardy and Venom are fighting for supremacy.
Yes.
But the transformation of Woody into Carnage is weak and the rest is window dressing. The payoff in the post-credit scene, wow.
Yeah. I quite liked the transformation that they did with Cletus. The first time I saw it,
Yeah.
they did the exact same transformation every time he transformed into...
Yeah.
I think he did like 3 or 4 times on screen.
Yeah.
And it always started with like... hit the right bit of his jaw, ripping open into Carnage.
Yeah.
Do something a little bit different each time he does it. Do you know what I mean? It didn't have to be the same spot. It changed from every time.
Not at all. Film Rage said it was very absent of carnage, so it was a meh. And I agree.
Well, yeah.
Erican said the movie is fine, but oh my god, did I have a blast watching.
That's it. Nailed it. I don't even think it was fine, though. I think it was shit. But I had a proper blast watching it. It was so fun to watch.
And then we had Creative Control, who said it was a mess. Terrible pacing, a rushed story, and waste of potential. Eddie has zero development and arc. Venom is a comedic sidekick. Cassidy is badly miscast.
Ooh.
Didn't think that, but
No,
okay.
I didn't.
Carnage's minimal screen time, the post-credits, was obvious and can't hide the shit show this is. 3 out of 10.
It's again, it depends on what you find entertaining. I think if it wasn't for the fact that it was entertaining, I probably wouldn't have, I'd have given it a low score.
I'd have agreed. Venom is basically a comedic sidekick at this point.
I enjoy it though. I think it just depends on what
you
you
said
like.
before, it's like the buddy cop type situation. I personally don't think that he was miscast.
Cletus.
No,
I don't. I think he was good.
I think he wasn't given the writing.
I agree.
He wasn't given enough airtime or
to do.
writing. I mean, again, we saw him more as Cletus than we did as Carnage, but there was just no real establishment, I don't think.
No.
And then agreed with Carnage having minimal screen time. The post-credits was obvious, but it's because no one can keep the bloody mouth shut.
Oh, it's ridiculous. And the fact that they released
honestly,
it in America 2 weeks ago.
I'm so glad that I was doing Shrek the Musical, because if I hadn't have been, I'd have been on social media a lot more.
Did you not know that post-credits was coming?
I knew that the post-credit was coming, and I had an inkling that it was going to, because of the reactions that I was hearing. I didn't read anything at all.
Yeah.
But because people's minds were so blown, I was like, it's got to be the MCU. Like, I can't envisage it being anything else. So I kind of like had an inkling, but I didn't know for certain.
Yeah.
So going into that, I watched it and was like, oh my God, yes. And I just love the fact that it's with J.J. Jameson, which is how it started in the Spider-Man version as well.
Yeah.
And I just thought, again, very clever to use the same character to put them all together.
I think it was a massive post-credits. I wasn't, and I obviously was expecting it because I knew it was coming because I'd seen leaks on Twitter and stuff.
Yeah.
And I think it was a bit of a stupid thing that they did, having the fan showing in London about 2 weeks before it even came out in the States.
Yeah.
But I think it was few enough people to... I think it was quite clever because I wasn't really that keen to see Venom 2. But when I heard that might be the post-credits, I was a lot more excited for it.
Yeah.
But then releasing it... And then I think people who watched it in America would have been like, this is great, because you kind of knew it was coming. Similar to Toby and Andrew being in Spider-Man. You kind of know it's coming, but you don't know it's coming. You think you know. But because we then got it 2 weeks later, we full on knew. I knew the whole scene. And as much as I tried to avoid spoilers, doing it for 2 weeks. Yeah. Like I said last week, I kind of just embraced it. I was like, well, I'm not going to do it. Unless I just don't go on Twitter for a fortnight, I'm going to see this. Do you know what I mean? So I've kind of ran with it, but you're right, you've been busy. But I just think, I think putting it out 2 weeks, 2 weeks difference between us and the States was just ridiculous move by Sony.
Especially with the link being to the MCU.
Exactly. It's too big. It's too big a post-credit scene to not let it, for it not to leak. Is that us? Is that everybody?
That's everything, yeah.
Sound, should we do the wrap up?
Perfect, yeah.
Right, so thanks for listening to the show, and don't forget to come back next week for our Halloween special.
Yes.
A few days before Halloween, but we're doing it before Halloween. You guys have been voting for this on Twitter. We put 4 movies out of like horror comic book movies for us to review, and Blade won. Amazing. I have not seen Blade for years.
I have not seen Blade for
years.
So
I'm kind of looking forward to
I might sit and watch that tonight, actually.
I might actually. Do you know what? I might do it.
Sunday afternoon, I might just get Blade on
I might
and
do
just watch
that. I might do that. I'm looking forward to that, though. So that'll be good. That will be out next Friday. I think we're going to do it. Next Friday we'll do it. You can find all our episodes at thatsuperherothing.com, along with all of our social media links. You can find us on Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, and TikTok. On the website, you can also sign up for our email newsletter, where you'll receive new episode alerts and news on upcoming shows. You can also contact us on any of the socials and submit thoughts and theories for next week's Podfans Assemble. If you've enjoyed the show, please consider rating and reviewing the show on Apple Podcasts or Podchaser. Helps out massively. The more people though who subscribe and who review it on those platforms, the more people see the show, and it gets bigger and more people find us. So please do that if you haven't already. And then patron shout outs. So patrons at the moment, we've got Geekinate, we've got Kenneth, we've got Keeper of the Sacred Flame, Stephanie, and Richard. So thank you so much for you guys for supporting the show. If you'd like to support the show like they are, then you can go to thatsuperherothing.com/Patreon or patreon.com/thatsuperherothing. Still going to throw it in. You can find loads of bonus episodes on there. We just dropped a new bonus episode last week, which is our MCU ranking.
Yeah.
So we go through all 25 Marvel movies, put them in order. I really enjoyed making that one.
I enjoyed making that one.
Go and listen to that. Go and join the Patreon. Go and listen to that. Other than that, though, I think that's us. Us. Yeah. Perfect. Late one this week, but yeah, we've got it out. We've got it out in the end. And we will see you next week for Blade. So thanks very much, guys. See you next week.
Cheers, guys. Bye-bye.
Bye.